Okay, in the spirit of equality and inclusion, this and the next few episodes, we shall be focusing on the issues that impact and have play a role in the women's life down here in the coastal region, especially in light or in the context of the general elections of 2022. Now, it's been a joy to watch the rise of women participation in politics, especially this year. It means that Kenyans are finally acknowledging the importance of women participation and leadership, especially if we are to achieve and sustain the 2030 developmental goals. We did a similar show in Nairobi, where we focused on aspirants and sitting female members of parliament in Nairobi. And since we decided we are down at the coast, we will be focusing on women who have gone against all bias in an area where religion and culture plays a big role, most of the time to even hinder political participation. So who are these brave women who are sitting with me today, who have defied all the odds to take their rightful place in political office and also in aspiring? But before we jump into that, let us take a look at the following feature.
Empowering women is essential to the health and social development of families, communities, and countries. When women are living safe, fulfilled, and productive lives, they can reach their full potential, contributing their skills to the workforce and can raise happier and healthier children. A key part of this empowerment is through education. Girls who are educated can pursue meaningful work and contribute to their country's economy later in life. Empowering girls is the key to economic growth, political stability, and social transformation. Women's empowerment and promoting women's rights have emerged as a part of a major global movement and is continuing to break new ground in recent years. Days like International Women's Empowerment Day are also gaining momentum. But despite a great deal of progress, women and girls continue to face discrimination and violence in every part of the world.
I faced a lot of challenges, especially intimidation in the office, violence, especially when I was dealing with drugs and illicit abuse. I was assaulted physically, and I was admitted for almost 6 months because my hand was maimed.
In Kenya, influential women are taking every opportunity to involve and encourage upcoming women to take up leadership roles.
Mimi naunga mkono uongozi wa kina mama katika siasa, kuhusishwa katika siasa na katika nyanja mbalimbali.
Kwa majina, mimi naitwa Faraji Mwanyasi. Uongozi na kina mama. Kwa kweli, kulingana na katiba, mama zetu hatuwezi tukawaacha mbali. Kwa sababu sote ni wa Kenya na katiba inasema hivi kwamba wako na sehemu yao. Lazima tuwajumuishe. Kitu cha pili, nikilinganisha uongozi wa wanaume na wakina mama, haswa zaidi tunapoingia katika masuala ya ufisadi. Kina mama wana afadhali.
Because we have unfinished business with every office that we have not occupied. There are a few offices we have occupied. There are many women have not set foot on.
Welcome back. Joining me to discuss this issue are women working hard, as I mentioned, to change the narrative for the better. Champions of democracy and good governance in the coastal region. Seated right next to me is Madam Patience Nyange, who is a media communications and advocacy specialist, and now the governor seat aspirant for Taita Taveta. And next to her is Madam Hazel Katana, who is the first Deputy Governor of Mombasa and now vying for a senatorial seat. Next is Madam Mheshimiwa, my apologies, Mishimboko, who is the sitting Likoni MP. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa. And finally, we have Ambassador Sophie Kadzo, who is Kenya's ambassador to Zambia and the women representative aspirant for Kilifi. Karibu ni sana women. So, to start us off, actually before we start us off, I cannot fail to acknowledge my very diverse and expansive audience. Thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedules to join me in discussing the issues that affect the coastal region and to also offer support to these wonderful, honorable women here with us. So to get the ball rolling, my question goes to Mheshimiwa Mishimboko. Being the only sitting member of parliament here, in your expert opinion, what is the state of participation in the coastal region between the past election and these elections?
I would just say right now we are really progressing very well, because if you compare last election, the number of women who even went for the member of county assembly, right now we've increased. I think only from my party we have around 8 members who are going for the MCA for the county government of Mombasa, and we have others from other parties, from the Jubilee, from PA, and from other several parties, and also those who are going under independent. So there are very many. Also for member of parliament, also there is a change. For instance, in Likoni constituency, I was the only woman going for the Likoni constituency. Right now we are 2, myself and another Janet Mbete. So we are 2, and we are 11 candidates. And among the 11 candidates, 2 are women. So we are progressing. Also, again, we have Madam Hazel Katana, who is going for senatorial position. And I think there's another one who is also going for senatorial position. Also for this seat of women representative, we have several women. We also have middle-aged women. We also have those who are under 35 years. So to me, it is a progress. It is a progress, and there is a lot of change. And right now, because today we have around 5 only elected MCA in the county of Mombasa, but we're anticipating of having maybe 15. Out of 30, we can have 15, maybe 10 to 15. 10 to 15. So I would say that we are really progressing very, very well. That is what I can say for the county of Mombasa. But if you go beyond, now if you go, for instance, to Kilifi, right here we have Ambassador who is here. She's also going for a single constituent seat. We have Rueda from Lamu. She's also going for a single constituency seat. We also have several women who are going for governorship. Like in Kwale, we have one going for governorship. We have my sister here from Taita Taveta. She's also going for governorship. We have also in Kilifi, Honorable Aisha Jumwa, she's also going for governorship. And also have Naomi Shabani going for a single constituency also. We have Zulekha for Kinango, also it's a constituency. So there is a lot of progress. There is a lot of progress. I would say right now, we are anticipating to have more women in elected positions rather than just waiting for the nominated positions.
That is fantastic. Well put. I mean, I love the way you have clearly illustrated the difference between the previous elections and these elections. And we can see that it's an upward trajectory. I'm sure everybody watching at home can attest to that, and this is very encouraging. Now, over to you, Madam Nyange. You are vying for the first time. And we've noticed that a lot with many women who are leaving corporate world, or maybe they were entrepreneurs, jumping into the political race. Tell us about your journey. What has your journey been? Because I believe everybody on the panel is a seasoned veteran, the tried and tested. What about you in this particular trip? How has it been?
Thank you, Ashiko. Thank you for this opportunity. I am a daughter of Taita Taveta County, born and bred in Taita Taveta County, and then finally moved to media and communications in human rights and diplomacy. I bring with me about 20 to 21 years of experience from locally and international experience. And so at this time, in Taita Taveta, as she has said, there are many women who are coming up for these positions. And so looking back, by the time I was introducing myself into this race, I was at a place where if there's no woman putting themselves there, I'm going to put myself there. Because, I mean, Taita Taveta, we are many, and we have many capable women. And we knew by this time, because we had one woman who tried in 2013, she did not make it for the governor seat. And the same woman, Madam Jacinta Matela, tried again in 2017. She did not make it for the governor seat. So in 2022, we needed to have a woman there. We all in agreement that in 2022, it's a woman's time. We are shining as women in all the places. And so we said, yes, we can. We have had many experiences, especially within communications. You are in a space where you always advocate for people's rights. You are in a space where you are speaking for the voiceless. So the whole idea is we have the experience, we are capable, and we can do it. And so I said, okay, let's bring other members who can do this together, and then let's all cooperate so we can try and see that even in Taita Taveta we have capable women. And I must say that in Taita Taveta County, at the beginning of this, was when I announced my journey in July last year, we had also another woman, Rachel Bakazi, who is out of the rest now, but also introduced herself, or rather came on board, I think 3 months later. And again, 3 months later, we also have Professor Agnes Mongombe. So Taita Taveta County, within the Coast region, at least we had 3 women aspiring to be governors in Taita Taveta County. So I think it's a beautiful time to be a woman. And so it is a beautiful time for us in Taita Taveta to shine as well. Yeah.
So how has the leap been from corporate, from corporate nyange to now ye ni politician, ye ni mtu wa marali, nini story mingi?
I think it's a different phase altogether.
Yes.
Because I mean, I have worked around politicians all my life. I have worked with politicians all my life. Being a journalist, being in the newsroom, you're always interacting with politicians. So you have an idea what their life feels like. So when you're reporting from their side, and now you being the person that they're reporting about, is different. You get to the field and it's totally different. And I think for women, it's even harder. So I would say it's a journey that I feel I is aware what it involved, but for sure reality is different.
It's very different.
It's very different.
Vitu kwa ground ni
tofauti sana. Yeah, so my morning hours, I will easily wake up and go to the office. Now I don't do that. I wake up and there are people waiting for me to have conversations with me, by the, at home. And then you spend the whole day trying to interact with people, talking to them and trying to convince them why we need a change. We are all in agreement that Taita Taveta County needs a change in its leadership. And of course, where I come from, it's a very patriarchal society. And for a very long time, what we see is the leadership is male. So when they see patients, the conversation is, she's a woman. Is she able? She's a young woman. So there's a lot of things that already put you at start you off, not from the right angle, based on where we are. But we are here to disrupt the status quo. We are here to rewrite our history. We are here to say, it's different, it's challenging, it's tough, but well, we are tougher.
Oh, I like that. Speaking of challenges, especially like I mentioned when we come in a society where, culture, tradition and religion play a very, very big, huge role, especially in your area, Ambassador Kadzo. What are some of the challenges that you experience and how are you able to mitigate that to get to where you are right now?
Having come from Kilifi County, which is very rich in culture, that is the Mijikenja culture. And I think when we look at history itself, when we talk of the Kaya elders and we talk of the Mijikenda elders, I mean, you would not see a woman in those platforms, and which puts us off sometimes when it comes to culture. But now we've come out clearly saying we need our space. And having said we need our space, we want to lead and we want to show our counties and constituency and the world as a whole that women, we are out there to lead in different aspects. So it is difficult. They look at us as women. We should look after families. We should look after, our clansmates and so on. We focus on more on families. But I think the world has changed, and we want to change with the world. That is why we are out there saying that we are better leaders and we can make it.
Thank you so much. So in light of what Ambassador Kadzo has said, Mheshimiwa Hazel, what areas in the coastal region, because we've just touched on Kilifi, what areas in the coastal region do you feel like they have the least female participation, be it in a aspiring role or in the electoral capacity? Which areas and what can you attribute to that?
At the moment, it's very different, just like what Mheshimiwa Mishimboko said. In the past, you would have said, you would have looked at Kwale, but if you go to Kwale now, the number of women that are vying for the different seats have risen. Yes. And I think the only county that has the least women should be Lamu, if I'm not wrong. But even then, at the time when we were going in for the nominations in Lamu, there were quite a few women. But then after the nominations, most of them were dropped. And so there it's because, again, they have a very strong cultural belief and background. And so they're yet to catch up with some of us who now live in Mombasa County. So I guess Lamu. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's focus on that. Okay. For instance, if we're using Lamu as a place with minimal female participation, Mheshimiwa, what would your advice be to a lady who is watching, you lovely ladies right here, you know, with your aspiration and your zeal and your someone who's watching from Lamu right now? What would you do to sort of get them out, to give them a pump, so that the next election we can see more participation coming from that area?
I think right now they should just watch what is happening in Lamu. I just forgot to mention that we also have a woman aspirant for governorship in Lamu. Yes, we have a lady going for governorship, and we have Rueda going for a single constituency. So those two ladies are role model, and things are really changing. And where we are, where we came from, because of our background as women, and it's not only the tradition as a challenge for us, but we have other challenges. And I can say, like, financial challenge is a big one, because on our background before, you know, you used to be marginalized in terms of education, in terms of financial empowerment, and so many things. So we didn't have that capacity in terms of finances, so which we can run maybe a campaign for a constituency, running for a governorship campaign, so it becomes somehow difficulty. But I'm happy to say that there are quite a number of organizations who have really helped women to come up and go for this political position. Like UN Women, they have really tried. The FIDA, this is an organization for the women lawyers. They've also tried. We even have Caucus for Women Leadership, Maendeleo ya Wanawake, and so many other organizations who have really tried to empower women to build their capacity and to ensure that, yes, they can. And I can also appreciate the new constitution when they created this position of women representative, because this was like an entry point. For myself, this is an example. I was once a women representative, representing the county of Mombasa. And when I got empowerment, I just say that now I have to leave this position for another woman, because now, right now, I know what is politics, I know some of the strategy, and at least I have some few coins, yeah, just to use for my logistics in my campaigns. And then I said, okay, after this one term, because it is an affirmative seat. And I would also tell our women and also appreciate, like Rueda, she was a women representative for one term, and now she's going for a single constituency. Likewise, Zulea. The way I did also, Zulea was a women representative last election. Now she's going for a single constituency. Another woman will rise up through the 47 women. So it's like you're creating another space for women, and that should be our culture. Despite that, we have so many challenges, like violence is one of the biggest challenges we're encountering as women. You get so many abuses, insults, you know. Somebody will just tell you, is Mheshimiwa Mishi married? Is she having some children? Is she having a husband? Why are they not asking men whether they are married, they're not married, they have children, they have homes? You know, such things, you know. For a woman, I don't know how it happens that you're being asked so many questions. People just go deep in your personal life, and they want to know deep details about your personal life. But for the other side, they don't question, they don't ask whether somebody is a drunkard or not. For a woman, you go to a club and say, okay, this lady, she wants to be elected. Now kumbe ni mlevi. Sasa hatuwezi kuweka wamama ambao ni walevi. Nao wanaume wote, si wengi wao tu ni walevi. 70% of them who are going for this elected position. They go because that one, you cannot judge them through their personal life, you know. For us, we'll just see, is this person capable of delivering some service for us? Is this person having all the qualities which are required to be given such kind of leadership? So for me, I want to tell those women from Lamu, the women from Tana River, because those are the two counties in our region here, Coast region, where we still have some, you know, some these bad cultures and some tradition, and some women who are still in cocoons and they have such of like fears or what. But I think after this election, 2022, absolutely. 2027, even in Lamu. Yes. But I would also appreciate, because they have women going for MCAs in Lamu right now, several of them. In Taita Taveta, several. In Kwale, several. In Kilifi, several. So we are really changing, and we are really changing in a positive way. Yeah. So watch the space.
Yeah. So in the spirit of changing and embracing and encouraging each other, what initiatives, Patience, would you like to see, especially as a first-timer? You know, because right now everybody's getting all pumped up. All the women are excited, you know. So what are some of the initiatives that have been put in place, you know, to be able to assist these women? Of course, you've mentioned about UN Women, you've mentioned about FIDA, but, you know, small within the community. What are some of the initiatives that you would want to see put in place? And this is actually to you, but it's also open to what other initiatives are out there for someone who's vying for, let's say, there's no small position, they're just small people. But we say, according to the hierarchy, let's call them the small positions. But what initiatives would you want to see? And following up, Madam Hazel, what initiatives are already there? But I think I'll forward that question to the whole panel. Yes, more patience.
So I think for me at this point, I want to believe it's an awakening moment for the coastal woman. We have come for a long time where our place was in the kitchen. We have said, no, we can easily put on our lassos and get to the kitchen, but we can wear our high heels and get to the boardroom. Sure. We can represent our people and we are capable, we can do all that together. So for me, what I'm looking forward to seeing is a movement of coastal women. You know, I use the hashtag in my county, Aminia Mama. And I'm hoping that that's a movement that is going to be a national movement and a coastal movement to say that all of us now, we're at a place where we believe in women. And I mean, the likes of Aknamishi Moko, they have gone before us and they have taught us it's possible, it can be done. They have fought the battles for us. So while we are fighting these battles, the people who will come behind us in 2027, it will be an easier route for them. So we are hoping that we will be all united as women, speak about our experiences, not to sympathize with what we've gone through, but to encourage those who are coming behind and to tell them it's possible, it's doable. We have been there, we have done this, and here we are today. So we want to see more women rights organizations rallying behind us and coming to the front and telling us these are the opportunities that are available. We want, you know, women groups are already there. Women already put themselves in small groups. So mobilizing women is not really hard. So what we want to do is to ensure that there's more initiative towards women empowerment, starting all the way from primary school, getting to high school, getting to universities, ensuring that all the women, wherever they are, we can actually go to talk to them. We can talk to all our, you know, young girls that are coming behind us, all the women that are already holding places, mentoring other young women. Yes. Everyone has to rally to ensure that there are about 5 or 10 women behind them. So in this place that I'm not here, that I know somebody else is going to sit there and take the lead, and because they have been with me, they have understood what it means to be in this role. So I think I need to see more initiative where mentorship is concerned, many women boldly talking about their experiences, staying the course, because that's one. And then for those who get these opportunities, of course, shining in those opportunities. There is what we people call about the curse of the beginners or the curse of the newcomers, or you know, the pioneers. Yes. So for those who get a chance, for example, if I'm going to be elected Taita Taveta governor, I will be the first woman governor in Taita Taveta County. I need to do my best because Taita Taveta is going to make a decision whether they're going to vote women or not based on how I perform. So it only means that for those who get to those positions, positions that are predominantly male-led, then they have to really work extremely hard. Absolutely. To set up precedents that women can.
Yeah. You know, this is electrifying. So what does the future look like for women participation in the coastal region?
I think the future is bright for us, and I look at now what Meshimboko has just said, the number of women that have come out there to take their space vying for this seat. And what I just want to urge also is that even IEBC itself has given us an upper hand by saying of the 2/3 majority, which during nomination you could see out that a lot of women came out there. Maybe the only problem was that not all of them made it. Yes. To get the space for nomination. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them, you could see that women are out there wanting to take space in terms of leadership, in terms of in different parties. I mean, what was a bit disappointing is that the parties never gave them like an upper hand, which this is a trial. Maybe 2027, as we said, we'll see a lot of them coming up there, knowing their space, knowing what exactly they should do. What I just want to say, I haven't come from a diplomacy world. Politics is not about how people perceive us as women. And we look at it, we are judged harshly. Yes. But we also need to come out there. We need to come out bold, and that is what we are doing. Niskume nikusukume, nipe nikupe. you know, because it's a the men have actually dominated it.
Yes.
So we must, when they are standing, we need to stand out, and that's the only way that we can achieve this. So as women, I just want to say, let's go. This is our agenda. This is who we are. We are better leaders. We are better leaders at home. We're better leaders everywhere, and we will stand out to be counted.
Wow. So I think that's a good place for us to take a cup of tea. But I love what she said. You know, when they stand, let us stand out. I love it. So we're going to take a small break and then we will be right back and straight into the question and answer session. See you soon.
Imagine waking up to a majestic sunrise. Imagine an early morning walk on unspoiled sandy beach. Imagine the tranquil tide slowly creeping up to your feet. Imagine the breathtaking views of the blue skies over the glorious Indian Ocean. It's time to capture your imaginations. Book a beach holiday at Kenya Bay Beach Hotel Mombasa and turn your imaginations into reality. Prominently located along Bamburi Beach, North Coast, Mombasa, Kenya Bay is the perfect resort for a memorable beach vacation. The setting is just a prelude to an excellent potpourri of romanticism, practicality, pleasant amenities, and personalized services that will totally mesmerize you. Kenya Bay Beach Hotel. Book online now at kenyabay.com or email reservations at kenyabay.com or call reservations on 0725 991 500.
Welcome back to the second part of the show where we dive into the questions that our interactive audience has for our panel. The first question will be from Nana.
I'm Nana from Kazandani Nyali, Jubilee Youth League. Okay, my questions goes to Mama Mishimboko. Ningependa kuuliza kuhusu, kwa sababu wewe saizi uko kwenye mamlaka kama MP wa Likoni, kuhusu hili swala la kazi kwa vijana. Kwa nini gender, swali la kwanza, gender haikuwa recognized sana hapo? Kwa sababu vijana ni wingi ambao wanapata hiyo kazi kuliko wasichana. Na pia katika hiyo kazi mitaani, wasichana wanahusishwa ambao wanahusishwa ni kidogo na wanaambiwa wabebe vifaa vyao wenyewe kutoka nyumbani kuja kufanya ile kazi. Swali la pili linaenda kwa nyote waheshimiwa wote watarajiwa na walioko kwenye mamlaka. Hili swala la wanawake wa pwani, kuna mila ambayo wapwani bado wanatumia ya kuwa mwanamke haizi kuwa kwenye uongozi. Je, mtalisuluhisha vipi mpaka mashinani watu wajue ya kwamba mwanamke ana haki ya kuwa kiongozi? Asanteni.
Thank you so much, Nana. I believe Mheshimiwa Mishi will take the first question. And then in regards to culture and the issues, we will give that to Ambassador Kadzo.
Asante sana dadangu Nana, na mimi nataka nizungumzie hili swala la kazi mtaani. Na niseme kwanza, hii program ya kazi mtaani ilipokuja ilipitia Office of the President. Na Office of the President kuja mashinani inakuja kwa provincial, ambao kunakuja kwa regional commissioner, then inashuka kwa county commissioner, then inaenda kwa deputy county commissioner na kwa machifu. So ilipoanzia kazi mtaani ilikuja tu kupitia Office of the President. Na nafikiri kwa wale ambao wanaangalia runinga sana, kuna wakati ambao mimi niliweka motion bungeni ya kuzungumzia kazi mtaani. Kwanza kabisa ilipoanza ilizungumzia kwamba kazi hizi zitakuwa katika zile cities ama town ambazo kuna slums, sehemu ambazo kuna slums peke yake, ndio vijana wa sehemu hizo waweze kupatiwa ajira kama hizi. Na tukazungumzia wakati nikitoa hiyo motion, nilisema wakati huu lazima hizi kazi zipelekwe kwa kaunti zote 47 na zisiangaliwe tu kwa slums peke yake, lakini ziangaliwe vijana wote, kwa sababu vijana wote wana uhaba wa kazi na wanataka ajira, na vijana kukosa ajira imewapeleka kwa mambo mengi sana ambayo tusingependa sisi kama jamii yaendelee kwa vijana. Kwa hivyo kwa wakati huu sasa hiyo program tukasema iende kwa 47 counties. Na sasa serikali ita-implement katika hizo county 47. Na ile policy ambayo imewekwa sasa ni 50-50. Kwa mfano ikiwa ni sub county ya Jomvu, kama kwa mfano wakiambiwa kazi mtaani vijana 2000 itakuwa 1000 vijana wasichana, 1000 vijana wanaume, na hiyo ni policy ambayo imetolewa, na hii kazi mtaani ya sasa ambayo itafanyika kwa misingi hiyo.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. I believe that was well put. We'll move on to the next question. Kadzo, Madam Kadzo, Mheshimiwa Kadzo, you were to pick that up. Yes.
Thank you, Nana, for asking that question, that it is difficult for us actually as women to venture into politics. And Swahili husema wacha mila ni mtumwa, lakini kuacha kwetu kwa utumwa ni kwamba tuangalie sisi wenyewe tunaweza kujitokeza vipi kutafuta nafasi zetu. Nataka kuambia hivi, mara nyingi ya wale watu ambao wanataka zile services za mbunge, za MCA, za gavana, za senator, wale watu ambao wanaenda kutafuta basari za watoto wao, wengi huwa ni kina mama. Na kama sisi wenyewe huenda kwa zile ofisi tukagonga tupate zile services, si kusaidiwa kiuchumi, si kusaidiwa kwa watoto wetu kuenda skuli na basari. Tunataka tuwe pale mstari wa mbele ili tusiweze kusaidiana sisi wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Ndio maana tuwagombea hizi nafasi za ubunge, za MCA, za gavana, ili tuweze kusaidia community.
Thank you so much. That was wonderfully put. Our next question will be coming from Peter.
Thank you very much. My name is Peter Madenge from Jubilee Youth League, Mombasa, Nyali Sub-County. And I pose my question to the aspirant for senator position, Madam Hazel Katana. We have so many youths who do not have information about job opportunities, scholarships, and tenders at large. What do you have for them?
Youth, you must understand the role of the senator. Many times, it is not easy for your senator to come and to be able to offer you tenders, for your senator to come and even employ the youth. But because devolution was brought in as tentacles, their angles, that is why we have our member of parliament who's been given the funds for CDF. We have the women representative in parliament who's been told she will work with the youth fund, she has the NGAF funds and that kind of thing. So one, most importantly, I'll have to educate my youth in Mombasa County to understand what opportunities they can have using my office, yes, but not directly from my office. Because even then, unlike the members of parliament and like the women member of parliament, the senator does not have a budget so that he can go ahead and be able, or she can go ahead and be able to do programs. But a senator who's proactive can actually come and work with the youth in this county to be able now to push through those agendas.
So we're going to have the next question that is coming from Maimuna.
My name is Maimuna Siraj. I work for Better Coast Organization, and actually I have a comment when it comes to now. I like to congratulate all the women that have been participating in several seats, especially in coastal region. But mine is less like we don't want to have women leaders especially dancing on these podiums or not being able to represent other women fully when it comes to they're being called flower women or flower girls.
Girls.
Yeah, all just being in a position whereby to pointing fingers and also throwing words to each other. Mine is just I like to have women who will be able to actually address, articulate, and also being able to champion on issues affecting women, especially in coastal region. Like currently now we have blue economy. How can our leader be in a position whereby to influence the budgetary allocation to come all the way at the grassroots level, so that we can be not only being in a position whereby just all where we use for fish only under the blue economy, but how can we also being in a position whereby to have young women who will be in the tourism sector, be in a position whereby to now to get to understand all the transport industry concerning the blue economy. So I don't want to see maybe our leaders dancing, being flower girls. Can we have leaders who will champion on especially issues affecting women in coastal regions so that we can have change? And change is a collective responsibility, and I believe we'll have change in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maimuna. So we're going to move on to the next question or comment that is coming from Lillian.
Thank you very much. My name is Lillian Mudhike, a resident of Mombasa County. I have two questions to maybe Madam Mheshimiwa Mishi Mboko and Madam Hazel Katana. My question is, you've been in office for some times. Madam Mishi, it's 10 years. Madam Hazel Katana, it's 5 years. Have you had any mentorship programs for women or girls so that they can start championing or going for these positions, vying for these positions? And if you have, do you have any success stories that we can point out and see that you maybe held Lillian's hand and right now she's an MC in certain place, or she has done one, two things?
We're going to have the first one. Madam Hazel will take the first question, and then Mheshimiwa Mishi will take the second one. Yeah.
Thank you for that question, one that is very close to my heart. And the kind of mentorship programs that I did, it wasn't purely for the youth or a young person, a young girl, to be able to coming into politics. Mine was more to enhance the level of education by making it possible for them to go ahead, and I mentored them through the program. I'll give you only one example. I did have the very first dormitory that I built out of my own initiative and being proactive. It is located at Majaoni. And why I did that is because the school had been there, but the level of education and the number of girls that were graduating were not there. And so for that initially, what actually made me do that is because there's this young girl walking to school, and on her way she was raped. And by the time she came into school, I only wanted to know what was the issue. And the issue was, she stays in Mwakirunge. She has to be in school by 7:15. It was during the maize season, and the maize was very high, and she didn't see this man who went and raped her. And so when the director did approach me, I said, I'll take it upon myself. And all I did was to do proposals. But the proposals that I was doing is to enhance and to mentor and to be able to guide the young girl to get to a certain level of education. And thank God for that. I was able to build the dormitory. And the first year I did that, I was able to take 10 girls to the universities in Kenya. For me, that was a plus. And so I continue going to the school, sitting with these girls and helping them make career choices. So it is a school that is built on a Christian background. And for me, it was easy to do that.
Brilliantly answered. We'll move on to the next answer.
I am a member of the KEWOPA. KEWOPA is an organization which represents the women member of parliament, both the Senate and the National Assembly. And fortunately, I am the secretary of that organization. And I've done several mentorship programs here in Mombasa and also in Coast Region. And I have so many success stories. Where I come from, in Likoni constituency, since time immemorial, we didn't have even one single elected member of county assembly, even one. During my reign, when I became member of parliament, I made one lady called Mwaka Bakari, who she's now a sitting member of county assembly. And it is because she also underwent that program of mentorship. Again, I did that mentorship program to several women, and we managed to have about 6 women elected in the county assembly. If you look back on those other years, we had only one woman called Margaret Olang, who was the only lady, and she stayed for many, many years as the only woman among the men in that county assembly of Mombasa. And right now, through that same KEWOPA mentorship program, which we have also done. And for us, we don't just do to all the women. We identify those possible strong women who want to vie for different political positions. And then we do that kind of mentorship program. And we do it countrywide. And for me, I've done several here in Mombasa. And right now, I would just be proud and say that we're anticipating to have 50-50. Out of the 30, we'll have 15 women in the county assembly of Mombasa. Even before the nominations in Likoni constituency, we had 5 from my party. And we have also several from other parties. And we have several from independent. But after the nomination, you know, after nomination, some they drop, some maybe they didn't manage, they didn't make it. But still, we have like 2 women vying from my party. And we have other women from other political parties and others from independent. And when we do that, we don't do only for ODM women. we do across the political party, because that is our policy. We don't just basically do and say we do it only for the ODM party, we do across the party. So for me, I want to say that in the NGCDF fund, we don't have a fund or a vote for mentorship program, because you know, after devolution, there were so many things which changed. For us, the issue of social program, basically they are under the Women Representative, under the GAF Fund, National Government Affirmative Action Fund. That is where you are going to get fund for mentorship program, you get fund for empowerment for the women, for the youth, for people with disability.
We are going to move on to the next question, and I believe the next question is by Sarah.
My name is Sarah Mogana from Taita County, Taita Taveta County, but I live in Mombasa, and I'm a Jubilee Party. My question goes to my able governor of Taita Taveta. When you enter in this seat, what are you going to change in Taita Taveta County? Because there are a lot of issues which are pending, and always they are pending. When it comes to elephants, who are always disturbing people in Taita Taveta County, utawasaidia vipi hii kitu issue ya ndovu kila saa and it killings, na hakuna mwenye anashughulika kujua ati ndovu wamekula bidhaa za watu wanalima kwa shida, na zikiliwa the wildlife, hata wakiambiwa hakuna mwenye anatukua that initiative ya kujua kwamba kuna ndovu wamekuja wamekula sehemu fulani ama wameua. Second goes to maji. Still till now kuna shida kubwa sana ya maji Taita Taveta. Partly Taveta kidogo wako na maji, but Taita, in fact where I come from, Mbololo, bado kuna shida kubwa sana ya maji. Hakuna maji. People they go 5 AM kutafuta maji ya kukunywa. And still hivyo hivyo wakiwa wameenda hiyo 5 AM kutafuta maji wanakumbana na ndovu. Hiyo ni kitu imekuwa changamoto sana katika side za Mbololo, cause tuko karibu na Savo, so inakuwa ni shida sana.
Asante sana Sara kwa maswali yako. Nachukua fursa hii kusema kwamba sisi tunakuja kama viongozi wapya, ambapo sera zetu sisi zinazingatia sera tofauti. Hapo awali mambo ya Taita Taveta imekuwa bado ni shida ya maji, ni shida ya viwanda, ni shida ya umeme, ni shida ya barabara. Hizo ndizo shida nyingi za Taita na ukosefu wa ajira. Mwaka huu sisi tumesema ajenda yetu mpya kabisa ni ujenzi wa viwanda. Na iwapo tutakapojenga viwanda katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta, tumefikiria vile tutakavyojenga viwanda katika maeneo tofauti, maeneo bunge ya Taita Taveta. Tuko na maeneo 4: Voi, Mwatate, Wundanyi na Taveta. Tumetembea kwa mwaka hivi sasa kuongea na kusemezana na wakazi wa Taita Taveta. La muhimu ni kwamba tunataka haya maeneo yote, kila eneo lijisimamie lenyewe. Zile pesa ambazo zinakuja hivi sasa kutoka kwa serikali kuu hazitoshi. Lakini iwapo sisi tutajenga viwanda katika maeneo haya tofauti, bali itakuwa kwamba kila eneo bunge litajisimamia lenyewe. Kwa mfano, eneo bunge la Wundanyi, ile ndio eneo ambalo liko na mazao zaidi. Ukulima unakithiri zaidi, ukulima unabobea zaidi katika eneo bunge la Wundanyi. Tunataka kwamba Wundanyi hivi sasa wao ndio watengenezaji ama wao ndio wanalima boga zaidi, wanalima maziwa wanatoa maziwa zaidi, kilimo kibobea katika eneo bunge la Wundanyi. Tukifika katika Mwatate, lile ndio eneo kubwa ambalo liko na madini zaidi. Wale basi wabobee kuhakikisha kwamba yale madini yetu yanatolewa pale katika eneo bunge la katika eneo bunge la Mwatate, tunatengenezea madini yetu pale, ili zile products ambazo zinatoka pale zikifika katika mataifa mengine ama katika kaunti zingine ziwe zimemalizika kutengenezwa katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta. Itamaanisha zile pesa zetu tunazozipata pale zinatufaa sisi na watu wa kaunti ya Taita Taveta. Tukifika kwa mfano eneo bunge la Taveta, pale wako na matunda chungu nzima. Tayari wako na kiwanda ambapo hakijamalizika, kiwanda cha ndizi. Tungetaka wao yale matunda yote ambayo yanatoka Taita Taveta, juices zile ambazo watu wanakunywa kutoka kaunti zingine ziwe zinatengeneziwa pale kutoka Taveta zikielekea katika kaunti tofauti na hata katika mataifa ya nje. Tukifika katika Voi, pale wako ni watu wa tabaka mbalimbali. Pale utapata Mkikuyu, utampata Msomali, utampata Mkamba, utampata kila kabila liko pale. Tumeketi tukasemezana nao na wafanya biashara wa Taita Taveta, tungetaka kujenga viwanda vyetu ambavyo tunasema ni viwanda vya EPZ. Products ambazo zinatoka pale Taita Taveta zianze kutoka pale zikielekea katika maeneo tofauti tofauti. Inamaanisha kwamba hii leo tukijenga kiwanda, basi mkazi wa Taita Taveta atasahau kuhusu barabara yake. Maana kile kiwanda kitakapojengwa pale, yule investor ama yule mfadhili ambaye anakuja pale lazima atafute barabara ya kuelekea katika kiwanda chake. Lazima hakikishe kuna maji pale, lazima hakikishe kuna umeme. Kwa hivyo sisi hatutembei tukiuza sera za tutajenga barabara, tutatengeneza, tutaleta umeme, tunataka tuyamalize hayo kupitia viwanda. Hiyo ndio ajenda yetu kubwa sisi ambayo tunakuja nayo tukisema timu nzima ya Aminia Mama hivi sasa tunataka ujenzi wa viwanda katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta. Miaka 9 baada ya ugatuzi, Taita Taveta ni moja ya kaunti ambayo haina hata kiwanda kimoja. Nasi tumejua kwamba zile pesa ambazo zinaletwa, ndio maana wanasema kuna mambo mengi ambayo ni pending na kuna pending bills, na unapata wakazi wa Taita Taveta hivi sasa wengi wanafanya kazi katika kaunti, lakini kwa miezi mitatu hawalipi pesa zao. Kisa na maana kwamba zile pesa ambazo zinatoka, ule mgao wa kutoka national budget mara nyingi unachelewa. Na ukikuja tayari unakuja baadaye. Kuna tayari pending bills ambazo watu wangetaka kungojea kulipa pesa zao. Kwa hivyo wengine wanalipwa, watu wakazi wa kaunti ya Taita Taveta wanakosa kulipwa. Sisi ajenda yetu kubwa ni ujenzi wa viwanda katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta. La pili, tukifikiria hivi sasa kuhusiana na migogoro kati ya wanyama na binadamu, umekuwa kutoka wakati huo. Sisi tumeketi chini na wataalamu, tumeketi chini na washirika ama stakeholders mbalimbali, tukisema lazima tufikirie kuhusu policy zetu ambazo ziko hivi sasa kumsimamia mkazi na mwenyeji wa kaunti ya Taita Taveta. Yale maeneo bunge ambayo yameshawekwa tayari ama zile tunasema maeneo ambayo ni ya serikali yaweze kutengwa upya na kuwe na fence mpya kabisa kusema wanyama watafika hapa. Kufika kutoka hapa lazima kuwe kumewekwa electrical fence, wasivuke kutoka hapo. Na vile vile muhimu sana kuhakikisha kwamba tunatembelea wananchi kuwaeleza umuhimu wa kujua kwamba kufika hapa mpaka hapa ni mpaka wa mbuga. Kufika mpaka hapa hawa ni nafasi ya wakazi kuweza kulima ama kuweza kuishi. Kwa hivyo tunaangalia hivi sasa zile policy ziko, tunazichora upya, tunafanya county auditing ya rasilimali zote ambazo tuko nazo ili tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba zile zinakuwa gazetted upya na kusema kwamba hapa ndo tumefikia, migogoro imekuwa tangu jadi imekuwa, lakini tungetaka sisi kuyabadilisha. Tukifikiria tena ingine ambayo umeongezea ni kuhusiana na madini. Nilikuwa nafanya kazi katika shirika la kutetea haki za kibinadamu, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, kuanzia mwaka 2014 hadi mwaka 2019. Na wakati huo tulipiga kambi katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta mwaka 2017 kwa wiki kama 2. Tukaongea na washirika washiriki ambao wanafanya katika sekta ya madini Taita Taveta. Tukaongea na viongozi wa kaunti Taita Taveta. Tukaongea na wakazi ambao wanafanya kazi pale katika majimbo ya Taita Taveta. Wale kwa wengine wanaita mazurura. Na tukawasikia na kilio chao, na tukaongea pia kuhusiana na wanawake ambao wanafanya kazi katika majimbo hayo. Na dhuluma zilizoko katika sekta hiyo ni nyingi sana. Hivi sasa policies ambazo ziko hazimfai, ile faida inayotoka katika madini hayarudi katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta. Zile recommendations tulizozifanya, ripoti hiyo iko na jina la Patience Nyange. Kwangu mimi itakuwa ni rahisi sana ni kuiendeleza, maana tulipatia kaunti ya Taita Taveta mpaka hii leo hawajafuatilia ripoti hiyo. Kwa hivyo tayari kuna ripoti ambayo tulitengeneza wakati huo, ikapelekwa katika national government ama serikali kuu, imo tayari, yahitaji tu mtu kuifuatilia na kusema zile recommendations ambazo zilikuwa katika inquiry ambayo tulifanya wakati huo zahitaji kufuatiliwa. Na kwa sababu nilikuwa hapo tayari, itakuwa ni rahisi sana kuifuatilia. Na jinsi tulivyoiandika na kuhakikisha kwamba kila kiongozi aliyeko katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta basi anaelewa rasilimali zilizoko, anaelewa dhuluma zilizoko kwa watoto ambao wanafanya kazi pale, child labor. Kuna wanawake pia wanadhulumiwa katika yale majimbo, kuna watu ambao wanafanya kazi. Na kweli ni kwamba percentage kubwa ama asilimia kubwa ya rasilimali zinatoka na madini si za wakazi wa Taita Taveta. Tunataka kurudisha zile rasilimali zote ziwe ni za wakazi wa Taita Taveta.
I feel like she deserves a round of applause for well articulating her manifesto.
My name is Eric Rama Mwagosi. I'm from Kilifi County. I would like to congratulate the panel and to wish them all the best in these elections. My question is about drugs and drug addiction and what they have in their plans to combat that one. My second question would be to Ambassador Sophie, what she intends to do, especially about Mtwapa, which is known as the fastest growing urban center in Eastern Central Africa. What her plans are to make it a town proper.
Thank you, Eric, first for letting us know that is one issue that has actually hindered us at the coast. And when you look at what has happened, and you see most of the youth have actually ventured into that sector of drugs. I mean, they use drugs in all kinds of substances. But I think what we need to do, one thing that when I'm elected the Member of Parliament, especially to where I come from, my constituency, Kilifi South, and Mtwapa, especially in Mtwapa, we have seen a lot of youth, and that is being brought by idleness, in where we live as well. And that is why we have this thing. The government has also introduced Kazi Mtaani, Kazi kwa Vijana, which will engage them in different activities in their village level. And also, one of the things that we want to look into is sports. Because when you engage the youth in sports, in different activities, that takes away their energy, again, that keeps them busy in different kind of sectors of sport. So I want to look at the sports facilities as well. If there are none within the locality, that is where they sit down, unasema wanakaa mtaani, and whatever they engage, we try this, and at the end of the day, that is how people, infect each other with taking substances which are not useful into their bodies. So I think sports is one key thing that we need to engage the youth with. Kazi Mtaani is one thing as well. Kazi kwa Vijana, youth polytechnics. So that when they finish Form 4, those who did not manage to go to university, what next? That is where now then. So those ones, there is vocational trainings that we want to engage them. There is sports that we also need to nurture. We need to nurture their talents and see. They are our children. And we know who takes what and who does what. Yes. So I think as leaders, unaambiwa mtoto halelewi na mzazi mmoja. The community itself, from the chief, from the sub-chief, from the dear, everybody should be involved in this. And that is how we're going to change a different community. Yes. So it involves everybody, not just from the MP, but from the village level. Wazee wa mtaa, mabalozi wa nyumba kumi. Everybody has a role to play in the society.
I believe that is a perfect way to end the show. We have come to the end of today's very interactive, very insightful, and very informative show. I want to thank my honorable panel, each and every one of you, taking your time away from a very busy schedule, especially in regards to where we are in terms of, in terms of politics. We've got about 5 weeks to go.
53
days.
Yeah, 53 days.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I am in awe. I am so appreciative that you took your time. I also want to thank my very able audience. Thank you so much. I appreciate the question, your contribution, your comments. I believe whoever is watching or whoever has watched today's show has definitely taken home a few pointers here and there. Now, before I leave, I'd like to point out that the female voice, the female political voice at that, it's very personal. It's very intimate. It's very caregiving. It's very life enhancing. It's more about bringing out care, love, and justice. So let us hold each other's hands as women. For the woman who is pursuing whatever she's pursuing, be with her, hang in there with her, and definitely we will all celebrate when we get to the finish line. On behalf of my team here at KBC, my production team, my location partners, the Kenya Bay Beach Hotel, my partners, journalists for human rights, and of course the crew, the audience, and the panel at large, I'd like to bid you adieu, and I will see you next week, same time, same place on the Dada's show. Goodbye.